Hi guys, welcome back to the Kingdom Chasers. Today we're going to go over a few things that we wish we knew when we moved down to Florida.
The first thing we wanted to talk about were the schools. We didn't know a whole lot about it because when we first moved to Florida, we had little kids. Our youngest was 6 months old and our oldest was just turned 2, so we didn't know a whole lot about the schools.
And also, depending on the area, you're pretty much surrounded by older folks. When we first moved down, we actually ended up in a community where there weren't too many kids, and the school commute was almost 40-something minutes because of the county line. Now, we have found a good school for our kids. It is not inside our school district because you can actually pick and choose which school that you want your kids to go to. It's really hit or miss whether or not they're good or not, and we luckily found one that we could commute to and bring them to every day, and the one that they were zoned for wasn't really all that good.
And we lucked out that they still have openings for them to be in.
One thing that they do have to have down here that we didn't need when we lived in Tennessee was they actually have a sort of school uniform. Really, it's just a pair of khakis and certain colored shirts with collars that are allowed. They also allow the kids to wear the school uniforms.
And it depends on the school, depending on what colors they have to wear.
The next thing we wanted to talk with you guys about is the bugs. They are everywhere down here. When we first moved down, we didn't have a pest control or anything. We were just moving from New York, where we didn't really have that much of a problem. We realized it really fast that we needed to kind of get a handle on that, and it's essential that you either spray or bomb your place when you get there just to maintain it. The one thing we ran into, unfortunately, was the palmetto bugs in our first home. Since our first home here, we've learned our lesson, and honestly we haven't seen that many as long as we keep up with our spraying, either by hiring somebody or using our own.
I had no idea what a palmetto bug was when we first moved down here, and I really had no idea that they could fly even when I did see one the first time, so that was not fun.
One other thing about bugs is down here about twice a year there's love bug season. Typically closer to the summer months, either going into summer or coming out of it. They are everywhere. They don't bother you really, except you need to get your car washed more often.
And with the pandemic, because so many people weren't driving, that's normally how a lot of them are killed, by getting hit by cars. So because people weren't driving, there seemed to be a lot more this time.
Yeah, this year definitely had a lot more love bugs than we've seen in our prior years here. We're going on our third year living in Florida, second consecutive because we moved away once.
Yeah, and it didn't help that our kids are freaked out by bugs. They're getting more and more used to them. But yeah, they definitely did not like it at first.
The third thing on our list that we wanted to go over are toll roads. We didn't have too many of them that we needed to use when living in New York, and Tennessee didn't have any at all. But down here, my first time we lived down here, my one job was about 45 minutes away on side roads and only about 30 via toll roads. Now they have sun passes which you can use on those toll roads, and if you get one of them it's easier to have kind of like a service with them if you go to their webpage. I know some people were discounted depending on construction, stuff like that, but if you just pay them as you go, they're actually a lot more expensive. And to save me a 15 minutes on my commute was about, I think it was like $5 a day or something, but it would have saved me in the long run.
The next thing we want to talk about is the rainy season. It happens mostly during the summer, and rain can come out of anywhere. So keep an umbrella with you in your car, in your house, in your bag, just everywhere you go. Rain can come out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, we didn't know about the seasons down here when we first moved. It was in about April, and when we first moved down here, we were like, oh good, it's the beginning of summer, we'll be able to go out, do all these things. But what we didn't realize is when you move down to Florida, it's not for the summer. It's for the other months of the year where it's really nice. The summer, you have your mornings usually, and then it rains in the afternoon, and then sometimes you get a week or two where it's nothing but downfalls. which is why you should keep an umbrella everywhere. Or some people even just brave it all, put on the poncho, and go out there and have fun anyway, because it's still really warm and humid. The rain doesn't really cool things off at all. It makes it more like a sauna.
And I would definitely invest in a reusable poncho instead of the like cheap plastic ones.
So the last thing we wanted to go over was the difference in shops. Us moving from New York, we had never even really heard of Publix or had shopped at them. When we moved to Tennessee, we had Publix, but its main competitor out there was Kroger. Down here, it doesn't really seem to have a main competitor. You have Aldi and Food Lion and a couple other little chains, but everyone primarily shops at either Publix or Walmart.
Another thing that we noticed was there wasn't that many thrift stores around here. In Tennessee, we loved going to thrift stores and there was really good ones there. Here, the main one seems to be Goodwill. There's some hit and miss ones, but most of them don't really have very many good deals or anything like that. It's basically the same as if you were to go to Walmart and buy something.
Yeah, the prices down here for the thrift stores and the pawn shops don't really seem to be competitive. I mean, I got a computer in Tennessee for less than $100 that worked till this day, and out here everybody seems to want to kind of jack the prices up, and they don't have that good of a selection, and a little of them, some of them are a little sketchy.
That was just kind of some of the things that we thought would interest you guys. We didn't list them in any particular order, it's just kind of as we thought of them.
So if you guys have any questions of your own or any comments, be sure to leave them below. Leave a like and subscribe also. We'll be uploading some new videos coming soon. The next one's just going to be a drive-through of Lakeland, kind of show you what our scenery looks like. So be sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.